Finally, the Eagles have hired an offensive coordinator. Welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, covering news, notes, and opinions on your favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Jointly produced here by the Eagles Pinpole Podcast Network and the STT Sports Network over on YouTube. Guys, wherever you're watching, whether you're listening to the audio on the Eagles Pinpole or watching the video over on the STT Sports Network, make sure you like, you share, you subscribe, you follow, you comment, you do whatever you got to do to help spread the word and help these great channels both grow. The STT Sports Network finally hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm super thankful to each and every one of you for helping me get there. And you know who's gotten there finally? The Philadelphia Eagles and their search for an offensive coordinator, hiring, literally news breaking less than an hour ago from me recording this. I don't know when you're watching this, but an hour before recording this, less than that, the Eagles announced the hiring of Sean Mannion to be their next offensive coordinator. So let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Who is Sean Mannion? Okay. We've mentioned his name a few times in the last week, right? Sean Mannion, 33 years old, was a third-round quarterback drafted out of Oregon State in 2015. Spent 8 years as a backup quarterback in the NFL, throwing 110 passes only in his career. His big breakout performance was in 2013, his junior year of college, where he threw for almost 4,700 yards and 37 touchdowns. He did have 15 interceptions that year, but that was his big breakout there. He has spent the last 2 years since retiring as a player, as a coach with the Green Bay Packers organization, first in 2024 as an offensive assistant, and this most recent year, he was the quarterback coach for Jordan Love there in Green Bay. So what do we know about him otherwise? Like I said, 33 years old from San Jose, California. He has no play calling experience, okay? He is highly respected, though, as a coach and a player, as a backup quarterback. Backup quarterbacks, backup catchers, they make great coaches in both football and baseball, so I like that. He's highly respected, though. I've had multiple people comment on threads from Green Bay content creators commenting on my threads that they're going to miss him in Green Bay, that he's a very, very bright young mind. A lot of people are saying he's a fast track to head coach type of guy. So while he might be here for a couple years, he is a guy eventually we will lose to being a head coach if he keeps his track record and his path moving forward. So that's who he is. Now, what does it mean? Again, he's going to be a first-time play caller. I get it. A lot of people wanted experience over Kevin Patullo. A lot of people are going to say, did we just trade Kevin Patullo for Kevin Patullo? And I'm here to say no. Okay, Kevin Patullo was a completely different situation, different scenario. This is a guy coming from a different system, a different game plan, a different organization, a guy that has worked under about 7 different highly respected coaches and coordinators in football from his playing days and in Green Bay now. Matt LaFleur is a very, very highly respected offensive mind. You're getting a young guy at 33 years old who has minimal experience. Kevin Patullo had been coaching in the NFL for almost 20 years and never gotten that opportunity. These young, fast-tracked coaches, this is the way. This is the modern NFL. These guys understand the modern NFL. So I love that aspect of it. He was one of 4 guys that got brought in this week for second interviews. It was reported before this announcement that earlier this week, or even as early as Thursday afternoon, 4 guys, along with Sean Mannion, Jarrett Johnson, Josh Gizzard, and Jim Bob Cooter, had all been brought in for second interviews. And 2 of those guys, Mannion and Johnson, never called plays in the NFL. So I don't think that calling plays in the NFL was a top priority. Now, on play calling, along with Adam Schefter dropping nuggets of something else big happening in Philly with the Eagles, he also mentioned in that same thing that worst case scenario, Nick Sirianni could always call plays as well, or at the very least help. This is one of those things where Sean Mannion probably sold the Eagles on the ability to work with Jalen Hurts, the ability to work with Nick Sirianni, the ability to bring in fresh ideas, but also integrate his fresh ideas with Jalen Hurts, his skill set, and Nick Sirianni's philosophies, because I think that's very important. Everybody wanted this new OC to be this total autonomy, strip it down and start it all over again, offensive guru. And that would have been a recipe for disaster. That would have been a recipe for a step backwards, right? What's the worst that can happen by giving Sean Mannion, the job? We fire him after 1 year and we start all over again, right? I mean, if this next season falls apart enough, you're going to be stripping it down and starting it all over anyway, right? But you're getting a fresh guy, a fresh mind, a fresh set of eyes. He wasn't on my list. I never even heard of the guy till earlier this week or late last week when he was first brought in. But nobody ever heard of Nick Sirianni. We heard of Doug Peterson, but he wasn't on anybody's list. Nobody ever heard of quarterback coach from Green Bay, Andy Reid, when we hired him and gave him his first head coaching and play calling opportunity, right? That worked out pretty damn well, right? So I'm not saying this guy's going to be Andy Reid. I'm not saying he's going to be Nick Sirianni. But I think we got to be patient. We got to hear him talk. We got to see what his philosophies as the play caller are going to be. We got to see what other staff he brings in. It was reported by Jeff McClain in his most recent podcast, Inquirer writer, but he also has a podcast, that Jeff Stoutland was removed as the run game coordinator at some point this past year. That's something that's really, really good about the Eagles. They keep a lot of that stuff quiet and secret. They don't like to create outside drama. Hey, we took somebody's role away from them. No. We just do it quietly, right? So will Stoutland probably return? Yes. But you might need a new run game coordinator, right? You might bring in a new wide receivers coach or an assistant to Jeff Stoutland on the offensive line. There's a lot that's going to go into it. So until I see the whole puzzle unfold, until week 1 comes around and we see, what he does, I'm open-minded to it. I will want to see whether he can communicate with Jalen Hurts quicker. And what I mean by that, quicker in the sense of getting the plays in so that we have time to audible, to check down, to read a defense. So we're not snapping the ball with 1 second, right? I want to see that. But outside of that, I'm going to be very open-minded to this hiring because the last half a dozen times the Eagles hired an unknown, it worked out pretty damn well, right? So we're going to roll with it. I'm excited for it. I think that's all the news I've got. Oh, on February 6th, it was announced there's going to be a new 30 for 30 on ESPN next Friday, okay? 9 p.m. on ESPN, 30 for 30 on the Philly special and the first Super Bowl championship for the Philadelphia Eagles. Can't wait to watch that. Really, really excited about that. Well, yeah, that's where we're at. Sean Mannion, quarterback coach of the Green Bay Packers, worked with Jordan Love this past year. Matt LaFleur the last 2 years. I'm excited. We got our guy. Now we can focus on the offseason. Now we can focus on free agency and prepping for the draft. We got our guy. While some will crush it, and I understand why they'll crush it, and you may drop a comment in this video and crush it as well. I get it. But I'm an open-minded, very positive guy, and I have confidence that the Eagles, Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, and Jeffrey Lurie, have done their due diligence, and this was the best guy for the Eagles situation. Which you got to think about that. It's the best guy for the Eagles situation. So I'm very excited about it. We have the whole weekend to think about it, let it marinate, and then by come Monday, we'll have more opinions and more thoughts on it. But the guy's here, Eagles offense coordinator, Sean Mannion. Let's get on with the offseason, guys. Go Birds. And bubbles up.
Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Support for this show and the Fans First Sports Network comes from Strong Coffee Company. Elevate your coffee routine with Strong Coffee Company's Black Instant Blend and Lattes. Both feature organic coffee, protein, MCTs, and adaptogens for sustained energy and mental clarity. With quick delivery and exceptional taste, their coffee is a convenient option and a nutritious addition to your daily routine. Experience a healthier, most productive day with Strong Coffee Company. Visit strongcoffeecompany.com and receive 20% off at checkout using promo code FFSN. Again, strongcoffeecompany.com, FFSN.